Hola guys and girls and welcome to the week 1 match of the second 9 seasons of the GBA, and we are facing off against Danza of the Token Minorities, coaching the Los Angeles Nidokings. You might know him under Crobat for the win as well, but for what he's most known for is that he is one of the founding members of the GBA. At least I think so. Actually, now I think about it, is he a founding member? Probably. He was he was a part very early. That I'm for sure of, but I'm actually not sure if he was a founding member. But I'm pretty sure he is. But either way, just check out his side of the match, and I have to ask some GBA historians to be exactly sure about that. But either way, yeah, he is an oldie but goldie of the GBA. Now coming back to make a splash. He was part of the D League, of course, before, and now he joined with the big guys back again, and yeah, we are facing him in his return match of the GBA. Of course, this is the week 1 match, and this is an out of conference match, so because it's out of conference, of course, for the playoff race, it's not as important as a potential divisional or conference match. So in that regard, it's not as important, but of course it's the week 1 match. So there's a lot of mental reasons why this game is important. You always want to start your season off good, so you can smoothly sail through the rest of the season. Having already a loss at beginning of week 1 can be pretty demotivating, and yeah, we definitely don't want to deal with that. But that's of course enough of the history match. I never played Danza before. That is side note as well. This is the first time we actually clash in League format. And yeah, before we go into team preview and all this stuff, of course the usual shoutouts at the beginning of the video. First of all, the shoutout for recording this match goes to Goldoa, coach of the New York Napoleons. His links will be in the description as well. Of course, since he's a coach of the league as well, you should follow him anyway. We actually don't know if we face him this season, if he's part of the schedule, but we might at least face him in the playoffs as well, if he makes it there. But yeah, more than one reason to check him out, not only for recording, he's a coach as well. And for joining this team goes to Hylian, which is one of the GBA Jenners, which helped me out. His links will of course in the description as well. Definitely check him out. Like I said, without the help of both of them in this case, I wouldn't be able to do this content for you guys. So if you enjoy my content, definitely check them out, and yeah, just see what they have to offer. And if you don't like it, you just leave again. But if you like it, you can subscribe, like, and all these shenanigans. That's all I'm asking for. But yeah, that's all for that. Now, going on to team preview, of course, I did upload a team builder yesterday. Check it out there. Why I brought these EVs, why these moves, what is my game plan, what is the biggest threats on his side, what I'm expecting. You can find all that out in the team builder, link to that in the description. But a very short overview for people which don't have the time. We start off with a pretty standard Mega Man net breakdown, special defenses, Man the Bus, Life Orb, Sheer Force, Rock Polish, Lander's Eye with 3 attacks. Then we got a bulky utility Jirachi, so it's a speedy and bulky, but not necessarily strong. With Stare Frog, we got a pretty special defensive assault, that's the Zoomerl, and then Life Orb for attacks, Deoxys attack. Looking at the opponent's team, he brought the Genesect, the Heatran, the Hylian, the Palkia, the Hawlucha, and Gengar, and 2 huge surprises. Let's start with the bigger one first. He didn't brought the Sivaldi, and I was like, what? Like, I was so sure that Sivaldi was coming, because if you don't know, he is missing in his draft a Dark type and a Ground type. So Dark type would have been, of course, nice for mine. Deoxys to take some Psychic hits, to Pursuit Trap and all the shenanigans, and the Ground type would obviously be nice for Mega Man Network, because otherwise I just Volt Switch over his team. So it was sure it was coming. I was not sure what of the 2 it's gonna be, but I was so sure it was coming. Now it's both not there, so both Deoxys and Mega Man Network are huge threats to his team. And the other big surprise is that there is no Bulu, but the Hawlucha is still there. So this Hawlucha is not the standard terrain sweeping variant with Grass Seed and all shenanigans, because this is some kind of different Hawlucha, and I was pretty shocked to see that, because I thought, okay, if Hawlucha's coming, he's definitely going to bring Tapu Bulu as well. I did not. Tapu Bulu alone would, I think, would have made more sense to me than Hawlucha alone, but of course that means we will have seen a battle. Is it like a bandit variant? Is it like the pre-terrain variant with like Power Up Sky Attack or the shenanigans? Whatever it is, we have to look into that. Other than that, Heatran, Genesect, Palkia, Gengar, I definitely expected. Heliolisk, I was like, it makes sense, but I probably would have thought of other ones as well. Hawlucha made sense as well, of course, more with Tapu Bulu like that. I don't know really what to expect from it. But yeah, that's like my analysis pre-game. Now going into it, if your opponent has no Ground type and you're a Mega Man Network, you are very likely to leak with that, especially if his only electric resist is the Heliolisk, which is not very bulky from the start, so I decided to just straight up lead with Mega Man Network, not putting too much thought into that, and yeah, just either thunderbolting something or Volt Switching out if the matchup is not really in my favor. So let's hop right in. We are challenged by Pokemon Trainer Danza, and he is sending out IMC PID. I have no idea what this name stands for. I watched his side of the match to find out what this means, but as for now, I have no idea what it is. I leave Mega Man Network, and of course, I don't really want to stay in here. He's probably scarred since he left with it. We see here he gets a special attack boost. And I go to the Calc, and since I'm a bit invested, there's actually nothing this thing can do to kill me, even if he's Choice Scarf, that is. He could kill me if he's like Choice Back Life or something like that, but then I'm faster. So I'm just Volt switching out right here. I do, of course, Mega Evolve and get my Intimidate off. And we will see that he is actually faster than me and goes for the U-turn. And that means for me that he's obviously Scarf. And from the damage we can actually tell that he's not fully physically invested. There's some special investment. Or Frederick is something else going into this Gen Sector. More likely special investment. He does go into C-Train. We go for the Volt Switch. That of course is going to do a decent amount of damage. And for that we can see that is not a special defensive Heat Train. That is a more offensive one. Or potentially physically defensive. But yeah, I'm expecting more offensive. So I go into my Mr. Man to scam out with the Earth Power. Just go straight for the Earth Power. His only switch is the Hawlucha, which I'm not too scared about. He does switch out into Lift, predicting the Earth Power, which is Hawlucha. So yeah, he is of course immune to that, takes 0 damage, but we have time that he can't kill me, and I can just go for a Psychic, OHKOing this Hawlucha right here, but he does go for the U-turn. So we know he has U-turn. That already makes me think it's probably not a setup variant, so most likely banned or something like that, but the damage does tell me that he's not banned. So is this maybe a Choice Scarf Hawlucha? We will find out later, but either way, we just go for Psychic. He goes actually back into his Heat Ran, which, to be fair, pretty much surprised me, since he just switched that out. And yeah, once again, I do just go for the Earth Power, because I'm still not scared of Hawlucha. And we see he has the Sugar Berry. But even with just the Volt Switch damage, if he's fully offensive Heat Train, he was in range of Earth Power either way, since his Life Orb Shield was boosted. Stab. Even with the Sugar Berry, it's 1 time super effective, and that's not saving an offensive Heat Train. So that thing goes down, and we take first blood, and he switches out into Voltage, his Heliolisk. I'm of course get out. This thing is faster than me. Could go for Power Ice, could go for Surf, could go for Herb Voice. And I just switch out into my Jirachi because I determined that's not the most important thing in my team right now. He didn't brought the Bulu, and the Hawlucha is not a setup variant, and he didn't brought Komodo as well. So this Jirachi can just keep all the moves, and he does go for U-turn again, and we see the 3rd U-turn in the game. So far, the only move he clicked is the U-turn, and spoilers, that's going to happen a lot more often in this game, especially since Genesect just came in. And yeah, since he so often clicks U-turn and wants to switch and all this good stuff, I want my rocks up so badly. I go to the Calc, I see that the +1 Flamethrower won't kill me from this thing, so I just stay in, take the incoming U-turn you see right here, and I can get at my rocks, which seem very valuable versus his team, since he loves going for U-turn so often. He does go into his Hawlucha, and since I'm a bulky Jirachi, I can still take a high jump kick from this range. So I'm free to just fire for Psychic and potentially OHKO this Hawlucha, depending on the investment, of course. If he's fully offensive, it does OHKO. If not, there might not be rolls or he guaranteed lives. But either way, of course, you expect that he goes to U-turn again, because what else would you click if you have these mods and Danza on his team, it seems. But either way, we just go for Psychic. He does switch out into his Voltage, which is his Heliolisk. And we just hit him up with a Psychic right here to get some good damage on him. So right here, I do not want to take a Choice Specs Thunderbolt in case he is that, because since he brought it in, if he's Choice Scarf, he wouldn't really do too much damage to me, otherwise he had better switches to go for. So I just switch out right here, predicting the Thunderbolt and Volt Switch going into my Manectric, because the Jirachi can still be useful in being like a check to the Hawlucha potentially. I do get my Intimidate off right here, which of course shouldn't matter since he goes for special attack, but no, what do you guess? Of course, it's going to be the U-turn. This is turning into U-turn the movie. But thankfully, I have a lot of Intimidate, I have Resist, and I have Rocks up. So far, I'm not too mad about all these momentum gaining he's going for. He does go into Hawlucha again. And right here, he did bring it into my Manectric. And this can only mean two things. First of all, he's Wakam Berry. And can live it, gets Unburn, and can go for a jump kick and all this good stuff. Other thing, he's Scarf, which is the most likely variant I'm thinking about. And the other thing is that he just wants a second, which I pretty don't think so. So most likely he's going to be Scarf. And if he's Scarf, there's 2 things that's going to happen. He's either going for a jump kick and killing me, or he's going for a U-turn again. And I can get a lot of damage with Thunderbolt, because looking at his team, he has nothing which wants to take a Thunderbolt at this point. Since the Heliolisk took the Psychic, he's dead after Rocks and 1 Thunderbolt. And the rest, since I'm modest, will most likely be 2 KO, depending, of course, a lot on the item on the Palkia. If there's a sword there, so you can take a lot more hits if not. But either way, so I decided to just stay in here, potentially sack my Manectric, because if he does go for a jump kick, that actually gives me a free switch into my Landorus, which then allows me to basically get a kill, either killing a Hawlucha or Psychic, or basically just going for Rock Polish, outspeeding everything, and then getting a kill before he can bring in his Palkia, because that's at this point the only one he has, which can take 1 hit from my Landorus. So basically, that was my plan. Either my Manectric goes down here, or I can kill something with my Mr. Man. And he does go for a jump kick, and the 3rd option actually happens, which I didn't think about. He missed his jump kick. He turns out to be Scarf, of course, and I can just go for the Thunderbolt, killing this Hawlucha. And this miss was pretty big, because that means, for one, that my Mega Manectric stays alive. And Mega Manectric is a huge threat to his team. Like I mentioned, he has no switch into Magnetic at this point, barring a especially bulky Palkia, which I expect he didn't have because otherwise he would have brought that in already. And of course, the Lucha's dead, otherwise it would still be around. So that's a pretty big miss already in this early game for us in this season. And yeah, we still have Magnetic out where he loses the Lucha, and we are going ahead 4-6 in this match. He does bring back out his Genesect, gets a special attack race, and I decide to just switch out right here because Magnetic, like I said, is a big threat to his team. I still want to keep it right here. I just want to stay in there. Like, most of the reason was because I predicted him like 100 he's going for U-turn again. Why not? He's clicking U-turn the whole game. He's clicking U-turn here again. This is the U-turn madness keeps going. I think it was, like, to be honest, let me pause here because I have to talk about. He does switch into Gengar right here, which of course is a good switch into my Jirachi. See some rocks damage, see some leftovers, and then let me pause it. Because actually the miss was, I had to chuckle when it happened. Like, usually you feel bad, but I had to chuckle a lot because I think it was pretty funny when it happened because he clicked. You have to admit, he only clicked U-turn so far. At some point in the match, I was just looking at my notes I'm having and like, okay, what do I know about this team? Okay, I know this U-turn. I also only saw U-turn. All this months, U-turn. And then the first move he clicks, which isn't U-turn, just misses. And the game basically just... He told him U-turn is going to be a gameplay, and then he clicked it right after. So it sucks a lot. Don't get me wrong, it sucks a lot. But that was just a funny notice I had to bring out because I honestly had to chuckle when I saw that it missed. And yeah, he brings in Gengar. I of course had to switch into that in my Mandibus, which choose everything this thing wants to throw at me. And of course it's nice to scout what kind of Gengar this is. Of course I'm not expecting this thing to click U-turn because Gengar, as far as I know, shouldn't be able to get that. He does go for a Shadow Ball, which of course does nothing. From that damage I can tell that he is indeed timid. And yeah, we see he's not Life Orb, which is great news for my Deoxys because if you know, that means I guaranteed can live his Sucker Punch. But yeah, he does bust out the Z-move here. Of course that was an impossibility right here. I can live actually the Twinkle Tackle right here. I just pick Knockoff to potentially kill him if he is any other item than Z. And as you can see, he is the Z move, and that means he will actually lift this knockoff from me. And yeah, sadly, this Twinkle Tech will me bring in range of another Dazzling Gleam. So while this animation is going on, I can talk about that. Like I see, it does a lot of damage, but we can live on. Go for knockoff. Sadly, don't kill him since he has a Z Crystal. And yeah, now we are in range of another Dazzling Gleam. At this point, it's not really worth it keeping this thing because his whole team outspeeds my Mandibus and kills at this point. So I just sack it right here to the second Dazzling Gleam to bring out who else than Mega Manectric at this point and just taking Thunderbolt and basically claiming the kill, barring the Palkia is bulky. Or at least an Assault Vested offensive, whatever it is. It has to be a little bit especially offensive to take 2 Thunderbolts after rocks. But yeah, we just go Thunderbolt, we are guaranteed faster, we already saw the Z Crystal, and he switches out into Turbulent. We didn't saw that one so far, so that means that is the Palkia. And now we can see how bulky this Palkia is. Can it take 2 Thunderbolts? Can it not? It takes rocks. Gets the pressure up, so we use 2 BP for this Thunderbolt, which is, of course, 22 investment and modest. And from damage you can tell, that is for sure not a bulky Palkia, and that means we can go for a second Thunderbolt and just knock this Palkia out, which opens the door a lot for my Azumarill, which I don't really need for Palkia anymore, which I can use now as a switch into this Genesect. As you know, we are very, especially bulky on Azumarill, have even the Assault Vest. So the best thing you can do is hit us with Iron Head. He gets here the special attack race again, so I'm not too worried about anything. Can just go into my Azumarill right here. Of course, I would resist U-turn if he decides to go for that again. Which honestly wouldn't surprise me because that is kind of the game which happens. But he does go for Ice Beam, which is even better. Barring he gets the freeze, which he'll see he will indeed not. And that is close to nothing. I guess fire off a knockoff right here, get rid of the Scarf of the thing, make my Manectric outspeed it as well, and basically win the game like that. But he does first switch into Healerless, maybe predicting, like hoping I would go for a water move and he has Dry Skin and all this good stuff. But no, I just did go for a safe knockoff. And we kill the Heliolisk. And that brings him in an awkward situation because if he brings in Gengar, it dies to Aqua Jet, and otherwise he would have to bring back his Genesect, but he just switched out. So yeah, let's see what he has. He gets right here a Tech Race, and that means even if he has Flamethrower, that would kill me. The best thing he likes is that he could have Iron Head flinch me or something like that, which I wouldn't be mad about. Like, this miss was pretty huge, so him flinching me a bit wouldn't be too bad. But he does go for U-turn, gets a good amount of damage on me, but since I resisted, of course, and I'm max HP, or I'm not even max HP, I'm good at invested in HP, that won't do a whole lot, and I can just go for second knockoff, kill this Gengar right here, since it's still weakened knockoff, but at this amount of HP, a huge power Azumarill would kill any kind of Gengar. But he actually Curse Body my knockoff right here, so that means we actually can't knock the Genesect, which shouldn't be too big a problem, because I don't think he has any move he could lock himself into to win the game at this point. Barring, of course, one, and we already saw it, he could lock himself into Ice Beam to try and freeze my team to death, which at this point is his only game plan he has. This is a Charles Genesect versus 5 of my mons left, and he doesn't need to go for Ice Beam. And yeah, it's the only shot he has, so I'm not mad that he goes for that. It's the only thing he has. And we go just go for liquidation. That can kill. If it doesn't kill, Aqua Jet will do the trick afterwards. But as we can see, he's most likely a minus defense nature, I want to say. That's why his liquidation killed in one shot. And that means we have a very big win in 5-0 in the first week of the GBA. And yeah, we can't, of course, talk about this game without talking about the miss versus my Mega Manectric, which was pretty huge. Like I said, this is a huge 5-0 win. And this was mainly due to the miss, because that allowed me to keep Mega Manectric around, which was a huge threat, and of course that allowed me to get rid of the Alucha as well. It was not... I have to disagree if someone would say that was a game-deciding play, because after that, like I said, it was deciding in the result. 5-0, I mean, I physically couldn't... Oh, at this point still, but I don't think I could have reached such a huge win without the miss. That was a huge help in that regard. But what we would have had if that connected would have had a real game, because actually after Manectric was going down, the game was going pretty smooth for me. There was not too much hard predictions and not too hard plays. I could most of the times just play safe and keep the game going, but that was only due to the miss. If the high jump kick would have connected, we would have had a very different game, a more exciting game, and yeah, potentially even a win for Danza. So that's why this miss is huge. It was not really like we had just in my German league last turn high jump kick miss. And that obviously, that's a deciding game, because the hit hits, you win, it misses, you lose. In this case, the thing it definitely does would have given a real game where Danza had at least a good shot at winning, because after that miss, he had only a very, like, as long as I wasn't choking, he wasn't winning that game at that point. So, yeah. That's why, of course, that high jump kick sucks. Like I said, I thought I had, like, I'm sorry for Danza, like, it sucks. I know, I was on the receiving end, I was on the other end of high jump kick missing as well. But I just thought it was so funny that he clicked U-turn basically the whole match, and then the first move he doesn't click, he clicks which isn't U-turn, just misses. I think that was just pretty poetic, but that's all from me, of course, in this match. Like I said, the miss mattered a huge amount for the end result being 5-0, which is a pretty big win. I would have enjoyed a more exciting game as well, but of course I'm not gonna complain about a 5-0 win in week 1. That's always a nice gift, especially versus an opponent as Danza, which, yeah, I expected to give me a way harder time. But since Hex came to my help, we had a bit of an advantage there, or a pretty big advantage, that is. But yeah, that's all for this upload. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know that you hit, of course, my opponent up for his side of the match. Hit up all the guys I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Hit up all the coaches of the GBA while you're at it, and the GBA channel. All the links you can find down there. And yeah, we have a pretty big win in week 1. So our plan to roll out to the cup is going smoothly so far. Next week, we are gonna face the New York Neubats, and that's gonna be exciting game as well, because I never faced him either, and he has a Mewtwo, and I'm scared as piss from Mewtwo, because it just gets way too much coverage and way too strong, and it's way too bulky, and it's way too everything. It's just way too Mewtwo. But yeah, that's all for me. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, you know the deal, and if not, then I'm sorry, I guess. But that's all for me. I will see you another time. Ciao.